Hello, welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. This is day one, part 3 of working with Brandy. She's in for training because she's pretty bad pushy. At this point where this video starts, I am about 45 minutes into working her. It took me about 45 minutes to get her caught in her stall and to get her saddled. If you did not see parts 1 and 2, I'll put a card up at the top so you can go back and take a look at those. There's a lot of good information there. Now I'm going to pick up right here, working her in the round pen, doing some groundwork, getting her to respect my space, and lunge just a little bit and get a little bit of respect going. So that's where we're going to pick up with this video.
Gotta wait. Took one step forward, I'm gonna push it back. Over here. Okay, so this is the first time she's been out here. This pen's pretty mucky. We just got 3 inches of rain a couple of days ago. I call it a round pen. It's not really round. It's like 60 by 80. This is actually my cutting pen where I work cows. And it's also where I feed my cows. So all those buckets that you see, that's where I feed them. And I leave them in here when I'm working horses because I want to, you'll see how I use them for the horses to work around and over, and it's just another obstacle to work with. I'm gonna take this lead rope off. She's already leading better. She led out here much better than she was just when I got her out of the stall. Okay. See how she pushed her shoulder into me, looked away and pushed her shoulder. I'm not going to accept that. That cannot happen. That'll get me hurt. That'll get her owner hurt. Anything that she does that's dangerous, you'll see me react a lot harsher than things that she does that's just a nuisance. Anything that she does that's putting me in danger, I will punish her. I will swat her with the whip. I'm not gonna accept her doing anything dangerous. If she's gonna be dangerous, she's not gonna be appropriate for the owner. I'll just let her go around a few times. If you saw my video working the little yearling Palomino colt, I'm gonna start her kind of similar. Don't really care how fast she goes. Just want her going around. And you'll see me moving around here like I did with him. Now she's looking to the outside. I want her to get her attention a little more on me. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna change directions. There we go. Now I talked before, I don't want a horse to disengage the rear end when it changes directions. I've talked about why in several videos. I went over that a lot in that video where I worked at Palomino, lunging. There's an ass tail in demand. I'm using an ass by pointing my hand. I'm tailing with my body position, and then I'll demand with this whip. Good girl. Now we're going to kind of move around just a little bit. I'll work my way around a little closer to you. Like I said, these containers I use to feed my cows. It's her job to pay attention to where she's putting her feet. Her job to go around them. We're going to change directions again. 2 eyes. Push the shoulders. I know it's mucky there. She needs to pay attention to her feet, and I might end up riding her in some mud if I take her trail ride. So don't care if we have perfect foot conditions or not. There we go. Keep working our way around. I like to move when I'm lunging. Gives the horse a little bit different. Go around, over, I don't really care, just move. Gives the horse some different things to look at. Work from different positions. Now let's get 2 eyes. There we go. We changed directions that time with less help from the fence. She's very aware of where her feet are. Let's change directions out here. Shoulders are going to be an issue. I'm seeing that. You have to work on her shoulders some. She uses that shoulder in as a way of her muscling in to get what she wants. So this particular exercise should go a long ways towards helping that, because I use the shoulders to make the turn. 2 eyes, 2 eyes, 2 eyes, and send. She's actually been pretty good about following her nose and following the contact. She's got some feel with that halter. She follows it pretty good. 2 eyes. Got to get that shoulder. She's got to get that shoulder away from me. There we go. I don't really care how she deals with it. That's up to her. It's her job to figure out where to put her feet. Good girl. Two eyes, 2 eyes. I'm not inviting you into my space. See that head go to the right, shoulder go to the left? That's my problem. That's the root of my problem that I've got to fix. Two eyes. See, she's willing to give me 2 eyes and change directions that way. Got to get the other direction as good as that direction. Two eyes this way. Good girl. Better. Go on. Good girl. Let her stop here for just a minute. Catch her breath. See what's going on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Much better. She backed off that time with light pressure on the halter. There we go. Much, much better. Okay, so I'm going to start bringing this to an end for today. I'll work her again tomorrow, and I'll get a few video clips of that also. Just can't come into my space. I am not, at any point, am I going to let her walk into my space when we're standing out here, unless I invite her in. Most of the time, I'm going to go into her space. She already has too much of come into my space, so I'm not going to ask her to come into my space because she's already doing too much of that. I would like to have her attention more on me. She has not been out here before. This is her first time. Good girl. Every time she brings her attention to me, I'm going to reward her. When it's away from me, I'm going to ask her to do something. Doesn't really matter what I ask her to do, I'm just going to ask her to do something. We'll bring her back in the barn. Good girl. She's a lot nicer there. Really like what I'm getting there. We'll bring her back in the barn. We'll go ahead and keep videoing until I get her unsaddled. I'm going to rinse her legs off. I want to see how she reacts to the water and put her back in her stall. I bet you're going to see that she leads much better going back in than she did when we took her out of the stall. So I need to go over there and get my lead rope. So we'll call this lunge line up that's all nasty from dragging in this mud. And we'll go get the lead rope. Now, even though we're going back in, we're done. I'm not going to stop training until she's back in her stall. The whole time she's out, we're training. Like I've said before, every time you interact with your horse, you're teaching. You're either teaching something good or you're teaching something bad. So we're going to keep teaching something good until she is back in her stall. I'm going to go ahead and take the bridle off here. See how she handles that. Slide it over her ear. She's already trying to spit it out. I think this horse has had a lot of saddle time at some point. Good girl. She's had a lot of saddle time at some point. She just learned to be a little pushy. All right. So we're going to go back to the cross ties and the wash rack. Let's see how she does. Stop here. Good girl. Much better. I've just got light contact on the lead rope now. I want to make sure I give her a nice reward, an easy guide, an easy ask to go where I ask her to. Much better. Good girl. Good girl. Let's put her in the cross ties. I'm hoping that she's not as pushy on the cross ties as she was when we saddled her up, but we'll see. That might take another time or two of working her to see much improvement. Hang my bridle up. I think she has a little bit different expression on her face than she did a little bit ago. I think we might have accomplished something. Good girl. Alright, so it's pretty cold. I don't want to rinse her whole body off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to brush the saddle marks and I'm going to rinse her feet where she got mud on them. That pad and saddle arrangement combination seems to work okay on her. It's the first time I've walked around behind her. All the time I'm doing all these first, I'm paying attention to her and I'm paying attention to her ears. One of the things I've noticed is she has not pinned her ears back when I'm around her. So that has shown me that she hasn't threatened to kick me or anything like that. So I felt confident walking around behind her. I didn't feel like that was going to be dangerous. her over and grab the water hose. Push over, give me some room. Good girl. I don't know how she's going to react to the water hose. Since she has seems like she has been ridden some, I suspect she has been rinsed a good bit, but we don't know. Well, me and you will find out together. She's standing in this cross ties much better than she was earlier. I'm interested to see what we get tomorrow. My plan is to video at least a few clips of me working her every day for the next couple of days. I'm going to do basically the same thing as what I just did. And we'll have those clips and we'll watch her progress over the next few days. Let's go get the other side. Good girl. Now, I am not one to feed treats. I am not going to feed her a treat when we're done. I don't think that's a good habit to get into. I know a lot of people do. If it works for you, that's fine. When I get horses in here, they all have problems, and probably 99 out of 100 have been fed a lot of treats. And that has not necessarily caused the problem, but that has contributed to the problem. So I don't ever feed treats. Give her just a little bit more brushing. She's standing here good. Just a little bit. There we go. It's not really, this brushing isn't really to brush to get any dirt out. This brushing is for her mentally. I like that expression that I'm getting. Much better than when I started. All right, I'll put her back in her stall. Let's see how she leads to her stall. She knows what her stall is. I'm sure she's going to want to go there. See how she gets there. Kind of getting a little pushy here. She's anticipating being out of the cross ties. We're not leaving until I say we're leaving. This is when you really want to have good habits, that you don't put your fingers places they don't need to be, like inside these loops or inside those clips. There you go, good girl. This is a good time to get a finger pinched. We're not going until I say we're ready. You ever get on a horse and as soon as you get on that horse, it goes to trot off? Well, that's the same thing as happening here. Drop the cross ties and she's ready to go. So we're going to stand here till she settles, just as if I would stand at the mountain block or stand when I got on and not walk off right away. I keep asking her to back up. That's my first option. If I ask her to back up and she just keeps pushing into me, I'll circle her right here and then ask her to stand back here. I'll show you that next time she walks forward. So when they're really bad about wanting to move their feet forward, we'll move their feet forward and then come stand right back. Now, if you noticed when I did that, I wasn't particularly nice with how I pulled her around. In all this process, I want her to learn that she wants to follow her nose wherever I pull it. If I'm going to pull her nose, she needs to want to follow it. That's why I like these halters that don't have the knots. Because if this was a real hard halter with knots, it would rub her nose and not be good. Good girl. All right, I was just about to lead you to the stall. How long are we going to stand here? Let's circle again. Good girl. Good girl. This horse probably needs to stand tied a lot. I'm not going to do that now. If she still acts this way later in her training, I'll leave her tied more. But I'm not going to do it yet. Feel better? As soon as I get ready to lead you to the stall, you walk off. Now let's go to the stall. I'm not going to go straight there. She just pushed into me. We're going to back over. We're going to do this again. There we go, that was better. Good girl. Now we'll go in the stall. Just like I put the halter on here by the door, we're going to take the halter off by the door. Good girl. Not coming out. And that was it for today with her. I will video the next couple of times I work her over the next few days and string those videos together and some clips, and interested to see the progress she makes over a couple of days in a row. I actually think she's going to make pretty quick progress. So until next time, thank you for watching.